Hey YouTube, today I'll be doing a video on the black church versus the gay rights movement of today. Now, I am in support of it, and let me just start off by saying that if you don't like this video, if you're offended because I don't like that, you're homophobic and you think that you have some sort of right to dictate how people should live their lives, and if you're offended by me being against that, then I just don't give a fuck. Just putting that out there right now. That's my attitude towards that. Now moving along, when it comes to the black church and gay marriage, there's been like a huge debate because I guess President Barack Obama recently came out in support of, or last election he came out in support of the gay rights movement, and there was this huge uproar about a lot of the, not all of them, it's about 50-50 when it comes to in support or against, but a lot of black church leaders felt they've been betrayed, and that, and then they started saying, oh, there's been way more talking about it, that homosexuality is against the Bible, and, Obama betrayed us. Now, first off, let me start by saying that use the Bible to be a bigot, I would never understand that concept because I'm an atheist, but to actually come out and say that I'm against someone's equal rights because some book written by people 2,000 years ago, and the same book which was used, 200 something years ago to enslave people's, especially with black people, our ancestors 200 something years ago, because it says in the Bible, and I know that probably, and this is probably like 95% of people who are religious don't read their books, and I'm pretty sure most of the black pastors don't read the Bible either. They just pick and choose which verses they want to read, and they just skip over all the other stuff. And it says in the Bible that you may go to other countries and take the people who you conquered as captives, take them back to your country, and use them as slaves for the rest of their lives. And it also said to the slave masters that you may beat your slaves as long as you do not kill them, but you should make an example, or you should beat them so they don't make the same mistake again, or something along that lines. And then also it says in the Bible that if you're a slave, doesn't matter how cruel, how evil, how wicked your slave master is towards you, you must be obedient, and because that's what it says in the Bible. Now, it's very hypocritical to say the whatever, but also one of the biggest things that I've seen is that a lot of the black church leaders will say that, or they'll get upset over how a lot of the gay civil rights leaders will say stuff like, they draw a lot of parallels from the civil rights movement. And I feel that, when people are trying to fight for their rights, I feel that they should, take stuff from other movements and try to, gain rights for themselves. That to me is perfectly fine. I mean, yes, they didn't go through slavery, and yes, that, when it comes to the civil rights movement, had to do with someone's color, not their sexual orientation. So, and it's also a lot harder to tell someone's gay than what race someone is. But that's about it. Both movements were fighting for their equal rights. And if you look at it globally, gays in, like, let's say Uganda, they're treated way far worse than blacks were treated here. I mean, if you're gay in Uganda, it's a possibility that you can face the death penalty, or you can face life in prison. Yeah, it's pretty harsh over there. Also, if you go to India, I'm pretty sure most people from India would not be against black people, because Martin Luther King used a lot of this anti-violence or non-violence techniques that Mahatma Gandhi used during the Indian civil rights movement towards the British government, who was their who colonized them or whatever, right? And I'm pretty sure that either if Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King were here today, I bet every dollar I have right now that they would be in favor of supporting people's rights, their civil rights, people, treating people equally. I can't really see in my head Gandhi or Dr. King being, homophobic and chanting outside of, the White House saying gay marriage is a sin. I just can't, that picture in my head just does not come to mind. And, it's to me crazy, because while no demographic has a monopoly on civil rights, no monopoly, no racial, no race, no group, no anything has a monopoly on wanting to be treated fairly. At least in this country, it's a constitution that ensures that everyone is treated equally and fairly. And unfortunately, in the vast majority of the United States, gays are not allowed to marry. Now, also, when it comes to the black church, my grandfather's from Ohio, and he fought in Korea, and I guess he did pretty well over there. He got the honor of being an embassy guard in Switzerland, where he met my grandmother. This was, I think they got married in like 64, 65. When then they moved back over here, and they got married in 64, 65. And I think my oldest auntie was born like a couple years later. But 1967 was when Loving vs. Virginia was upheld by the Supreme Court, which made it that every state in this country must allow interracial partnerships, marriages, whatever. And you know, my grandparents, they were married before that. Fortunately, they lived in Ohio, but half the states in this country, that kind of relationship would be illegal. So, and then also I'm dating a white girl. So me personally, I wouldn't want somebody saying that I shouldn't be with somebody because they think that it goes against what they believe. I don't never say, that's wrong. No one has a right to tell people how they should live their life. No one has the right to do that. And in closing, to the black church leaders out here who just have these homophobic, anti-gay marriage agenda, do you really want to be remembered on the side of history that, the wrong side of history? Because they want to be remembered as the same people 50, 60 years ago who were standing outside with the sign saying that segregation is wrong, no race missing, none of the black church leaders who are against gay marriage, they really want to share the same legacy with the biggest back then too. I mean, 50 years from now, if those same church leaders continue down this path, let's go to church leaders in general too. Do you really want to be seen as in the same light as those racists and bigots and whatever? So that's all I gotta say, and support marriage equality because it's the right thing to do, and have a nice day.